Atomic Habits by James Clear. Do you ever feel stuck in the same patterns? Like no matter how many times you try to build good habits, they just don't stick, and the bad ones always come back? You're not alone. Most people fail at habit change because they think they need to overhaul their entire life overnight. But the truth is, real change doesn't come from massive actions. It comes from tiny, almost invisible improvements, done consistently. Today, we're breaking down Atomic Habits by James Clear, one of the most influential self-help books of our time. This book has sold millions of copies worldwide, and for good reason. It shows us exactly how to transform our lives through the power of small habits. In this summary, I'll walk you through the key ideas, the step-by-step system James Clear recommends, and how you can start applying these lessons right away. James Clear wasn't born a productivity guru. In fact, his journey began after a terrible baseball accident left him with a fractured skull. The recovery process was slow, painful, and discouraging. But he rebuilt his life, not with grand gestures, but through small, consistent habits, studying a little more, exercising a little better, making tiny changes each day. Over time, those small improvements compounded into a remarkable transformation. His personal experience, combined with years of research into psychology, neuroscience, and behavior, became the foundation for Atomic Habits. The big message of the book is simple. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just like money multiplies through compound interest, your habits multiply their effects over time. What you do every day matters far more than what you do once in a while. Let's start with the first core idea. Small habits make a huge difference. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. We think change has to be dramatic, running 5 miles every morning, quitting sugar cold turkey, or writing an entire book in a month. But James Clear explains that change doesn't work like that. Real growth is slow and invisible at first, just like compound interest. Imagine an ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. At 25 degrees, nothing happens. At 26, still nothing. At 27, 28, 29, still nothing. But the moment the temperature hits 32 degrees, the ice begins to melt. All those small increases didn't show immediate results, but they were essential. That's how habits work. If you improve by just 1% every single day, after a year you will be 37 times better. On the other hand, if you get 1% worse each day, you end up close to zero. Tiny changes, for better or worse, determine who you become. The lesson here? Stop worrying about big goals and start focusing on small, daily actions. Read 5 pages instead of 50. Do 2 push-ups instead of 20. Start small, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. Lesson 2, the 4 laws of behavior change. The heart of Atomic Habits is a simple framework called the 4 laws of behavior change. This is a practical step-by-step guide to building good habits and breaking bad ones. Law 1, make it obvious. We often rely on willpower, but our environment shapes our actions far more than we realize. If you want to eat healthier, don't hide your fruits and vegetables in the bottom drawer of your fridge. Put them front and center where you'll see them. If you want to watch less TV, unplug it and put the remote in another room. Make the cues of good habits obvious and the cues of bad habits invisible. Law 2, make it attractive. We stick with habits that feel rewarding. If you dread going to the gym, pair the habit with something you enjoy. For example, only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast while exercising. This creates what James calls temptation bundling, linking something you want to do with something you need to do. Law 3, make it easy. We often fail not because habits are hard, but because we make them harder than they need to be. Want to build a reading habit? Start with 1 page per day. Want to learn guitar? Put the guitar in the middle of your living room. Reduce friction and make the first step so small it's almost impossible to say no. Law, make it satisfying. Habits stick when they feel rewarding. Our brains are wired to repeat actions that bring immediate satisfaction. That's why it's easy to binge junk food, but hard to save money. One gives instant pleasure, the other is delayed. To hack this, reward yourself for completing good habits. Track your progress with a calendar, give yourself a check mark for each day you succeed, or celebrate small wins. The satisfaction keeps you motivated. Now here's the genius part. These 4 laws also work in reverse for breaking bad habits. Want to quit smoking? Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. Remove cues, link it with negative associations, increase friction, and eliminate rewards. The same system works both ways. Lesson 3. Identity-based habits. One of the most powerful ideas in Atomic Habits is identity. Most people focus on what they want to achieve: lose weight, write a book, get rich. But James Clear says we should focus instead on who we want to become. For example, instead of saying, "I want to run a marathon," say, "I am a runner." Instead of saying, "I want to quit smoking," say, "I am not a smoker." Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to be. When your habits align with your identity, they become effortless. Think of 2 people trying to quit cigarettes. One says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." The other says, "No thanks, I don't smoke." The first person still identifies as a smoker who's struggling. The second person identifies as a non-smoker. Guess who succeeds? So don't just chase results. Decide the kind of person you want to be and let your habits reinforce that identity. Lesson 4. Environment shapes behavior. We often blame ourselves for lack of willpower, but James Clear reminds us, environment is stronger than motivation. Think about it. If there's a plate of cookies on your desk all day, you'll eventually eat them. But if the cookies aren't there, you won't. It's not about discipline, it's about design. Want to play guitar more? Put it in the middle of your living room. Want to watch less TV? Take the batteries out of your remote. Shape your surroundings so that good habits are the default choice and bad habits are harder to start. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And your environment is the system that drives your behavior. Lesson 5. Focus on systems, not goals. We often think success is about setting the right goals. But James Clear argues that goals aren't enough. Everyone has the same goals. Every athlete wants to win the championship. Every student wants good grades. Every entrepreneur wants success. Goals don't differentiate winners from losers. What matters is systems, the collection of habits you follow every day. If you're a writer, your system is writing 1 page daily, not finishing a 300-page book. If you're a runner, your system is lacing up your shoes each morning, not completing a marathon. Focus on systems, and the results will take care of themselves. Conclusion. So let's recap the big lessons from Atomic Habits. Tiny changes compound into massive results over time. Use the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Reverse them to break bad habits. Focus on identity. Become the type of person who does the things you want to achieve. Design your environment so good habits are the natural choice. Forget about goals, build systems instead. Atomic Habits isn't just about productivity. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally does the things you dream about. Remember, every small action is a vote for your future self. Start today, even if it's just one tiny step. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this summary, subscribe to 10-Minute Minds for more book breakdowns that can change your life in just 10 minutes. Which book should we cover next? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe.